is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. My favorite television show of all time is Breaking Bad, and I've never really had the opportunity to talk about the show in depth on this channel. Today is all about my favorite moments from Breaking Bad, just describing to you guys what really makes me excited as a fan, not only about the series existing, but about the movie El Camino coming up, because we get to finally continue this story. Now, of course, we have Better Call Saul on television, and that's great, and so far, I'm not caught up on the show. Don't know why I'm not. I should be. It's been fantastic. But the fact that we're getting a movie following Jesse along on the journey past Breaking Bad, I'm so excited. And today, spoiler warning, of course, because I'm going to talk about integral moments for Breaking Bad. So if you haven't seen the show, I probably wouldn't watch this. So, of course, starting out, just kind of running through some moments that I'm not going to focus on too hard, but ones that I think everyone is going to remember. And, of course, we start with Jesse's favorite line in the entire series. Bitch! Other wonderful moments include Hank versus Tuco's cousins. You have the decapitated machete head on the tortoise that turns into a bomb and explodes. What an incredible, shocking moment. When Walt buys himself and Flynn new cars, when Walt throws the pizza on the roof, and literally every moment in the show from Saul, one of my favorite side characters throughout the entire series. Of course, Saul, you have Hank, you have Mike, you have so many characters that just make this entire cast complete what it is, one of the best casts in the history of television. But the first moment that I kind of want to highlight happens in Season 1, Episode 1, which is the pilot for the series, and it is one of my favorite lines in the entire show. When Jesse was talking to Walt, says, "Some straight like you, giant stick up his ass, age what, 60? He's just gonna break bad?" And that really was the setup for where this series goes. It's all about a guy who goes from this kind-hearted person who faces adversity in his life, who does, in fact, break bad. So when he said that moment, that's when the show really started to click for me. And I know it's the pilot, so it happened pretty early, but I'm like, ooh, this guy's character arc is really going to be all that we focus on, and it really makes the show what it is. The next moment is in Season 1, Episode 6, when Walt is explaining his quote-unquote meth to Tuco, fulminated mercury with just a little tweak of the chemistry, and then, of course, the scene that everyone knows and loves when he throws down the meth and it explodes the entire room and he takes out this crime boss. Oh my goodness. This was the first moment. This was the first hint of Heisenberg, who he slowly started to turn into another iconic moment. And here's a little moment in Season 2, Episode 8, the Better Call Saul episode, when Walt is talking, and he's just kind of describing his thought process right now. He says, "I've spent my whole life scared, frightened of things that could happen, might not happen. 50 years I spent like that, finding myself awake at 3 in the morning. But you know what? Ever since my diagnosis, I sleep just fine. What I came to realize is that fear, that's the worst of it. That's the real enemy. So get up, get out in the real world, and kick that man as hard as you can right in the teeth." Walt is slowly developing into someone else, and he's slowly accepting where his life is right now, because this is a man that was struck with cancer. The worst thing you can possibly be hit with. He was hit with adversity, and honestly, at one point, he just did not want to live until he discovered what he was good at, and he discovered that he liked it. That's a moment we'll get into a bit later, but that's what this guy was going through, especially at this moment in the show in Season 2. Another wonderful part of the early part of this show, well, not too early, I guess we're in Season 3, Episode 5. That's when Gus is delivering this monologue. He says, "And a man provides." And he does it even when he's not appreciated or respected or even loved. He simply bears up, and he does it because he's a man. Giancarlo Esposito as Gus is one of my favorite television villains of all time, and it's not just the line that I just read, it's the line delivery. I don't want to play the clip because of copyright issues, but the delivery, the way he went about it, a lot better than what I just did. But that sentence has stuck with me ever since I saw that episode, because even though he's on the opposite end of what we should be rooting for in the show, he speaks the truth. He is a BA character, and that's one of my favorite lines in the entire show. Season 3, Episode 6. This is when Jesse is yelling at Hank, who's trying to obtain a warrant. And he's just basically yelling, "I will not be harassed," because, of course, Walt is in the vehicle with him, and he is trying every way in the world to deter him. And this is when I sit back and I look at Jesse. I'm just like, Jesse has this relationship with Walt that can't be described, because even though he gets sick of him at a point and he understands that he's not all there at times, he wants to protect Walt. He wants to protect himself, of course, but he loves Walt. He sees him as a father figure, and they're slowly revealing this to us in Season 3. In Season 3, Episode 12, Half Measures, Mike is giving a monologue, and he says, the moral of the story is, I chose a half measure when I should have gone all the way. I'll never make that mistake again. No more half measures, Walter. And this, to me, just kind of sums up Mike as a character. That's why it's one of my favorite moments. He doesn't do anything. He goes all the way every single time, whether it's taking someone out, whether it's giving advice, whether it's doing exactly what he is getting paid to do, a lot of the times for Saul. But Mike is not a character that, hasn't had his fair share of adversity. He has, of course, suffered, which is what brought him to where he is now. But that speech, it really meant a lot to me, kind of growing even more in love with his character, and that's why Mike is one of my absolute favorites. And then, of course, we get to Season 4, Episode 6, when Walter gives the speech, I am the one who knocks. Just talking to Skylar, kind of giving her a little taste of who he is now. He is slowly turning into Heisenberg. This character arc, this character progression is one of the best we've ever seen on television. There's no doubt about that. But it's the drastic nature of where he is at the end compared to where he is at the beginning. At the beginning of this show, he is a teacher who is faced with adversity, and he has to do what he has to do to get his family to where he believes they need to be. At the end of the series, he's not just a crime boss. He's a drug lord. He is the legend known as Heisenberg, and he is the reason for a lot of these horrible, tragic things happening. He is the ultimate villain, yet he is the ultimate hero. And I am the one who knocks is the speech that I believe is one of the most iconic things from this show. To say it's more iconic than a few of the other lines we're going to get into is difficult, but if I had to compare, I would say this is definitely at least at a tie for number one. Another moment that I love is back to Gus 3 episodes later, Season 4, Episode 9. It's the Gus, come at me, bro, scene. When the guy is shooting, Gus spreads his arms out, and he just walks. He just walks towards the shooter, because he knows the shooter is not going to take him out, because he knows who he is. And he's one of the best. And I know I just said Heisenberg was an incredible villain, but this Gus, he is the villain of this show. He is the guy. And that moment really cemented for me who he believes that he is, who he knows he is, and who the audience knows he is. And that is, that's one of the most BA characters I've ever seen, and that's one of the most BA moves I've ever seen. And then not one episode later, Gus is exacting his revenge against the opposing crime bosses. When he takes all of them out, he has Mike to help him out. And just the badassery of this move is really one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Another great Gus moment. In Season 4, Episode 11, Crawl Space, Walt is rushing home. Skylar's telling him that she gave the money to Ted. Come on, Skylar. So Walt, he's having a little panic attack. He starts laughing. He's suffering a breakdown. And as the camera zooms, this is my personal favorite moment of the entire show. I don't think it's the most iconic moment, but this is my favorite moment. As the camera is slowly zooming out, the music is building. Walter is progressively losing his mind in laughter, terror, horror as it shows Skylar's face, and she's just about to break into tears. Well, she is breaking into tears, but you can just see Walt is, he understands that something really, really bad is about to happen. And I have literal chills just talking about this. This is my favorite moment of the entire show. I've never seen intensity and horror handled this well on television before. I've never seen it. It is one of the greatest moments in television history, one of the greatest scenes. And anyone who I tell to watch Breaking Bad, I just show them this scene. And most of the time that gets them on board because it's just so amazing. Out of context, in context, whatever. I love this scene, one of my favorites of all time. And of course, the Season 4 finale, Gus's death. When he walks out after the explosion, the bomb attached to the wheelchair, and he goes all Two-Face on us. Half of his face is burnt completely off. By the way, I'd like to see this guy be Two-Face in a Batman movie, wouldn't you guys? I just think that would be a nice harken back to this moment, and I think the guy would be a phenomenal Two-Face. It's besides the point. The next moment I want to talk about is Season 5, Episode 7. And that's the line I was talking about earlier when it's really hard to top this. Say my name. Heisenberg. Woman, say my name. One of the greatest exchanges in history. This is when he has fully embraced his crime boss nature, his name, his role in society, what he believes, what he knows he is now. That's Heisenberg. And he's fully accepted that at this point. And wow. And in that same episode, the death of Mike, when he says, "Shut up, let me die in peace." This is one of the most emotional scenes of the entire show, because Mike is an integral character. He's a wonderful character. And when he died, it was heartbreaking. It really was. It was tragic. Season 5, Episode 11, and I can't believe we've not talked about Jesse. Jesse has some of the best moments in the entire show, but I don't want to go all day with this video. From his relationships with Walt, to his relationships with women, to the heartbreaking moments with the people that he loved, to losing it all, gaining it all, losing it all again, his slow descent into depression. Aaron's had some wonderful moments, and he might actually be my favorite character on the entire show. But moment-wise, I want to talk about Season 5, Episode 11, when he gives the little monologue to White, and he says, "Just tell me that you don't give a shit about me. It's either this, or you'll kill me the same way that you killed Mike." He is breaking down emotionally because, like I said earlier, he loves Walt. It's his father figure. And I do believe a lot of this movie, El Camino, is going to kind of be surrounded by the fact that Walt is dead, but Walt is still telling him what to do. That actually may be Walt's role in this movie, is kind of the voice inside of Jesse's head, telling him which direction to go, telling him how to get in and out of these situations. And this is his breakdown emotionally. This episode is really one that sticks with me, and that's a moment that I'll never forget. Another moment that I'll never forget is Season 5, Episode 14, another favorite character of mine, and that's Hank's death. That's the shootout with the new squad of bad guys. They come around in the final season, and this shootout is epic. The camera zoom to the two police officers getting out of the car. The fact that Walt tells Hank, "Don't do it. Don't do it, Hank." He knows what's going to happen. He knows Hank's going to die. And when he gets shot and the camera cuts away, it is one of the most impactful deaths I've ever seen. And I know I keep saying this, but the way that he went out, the badassery, but just the way that he embraces what Walt has turned into, what he's been experiencing over the last couple of weeks, with how his descent into pure evil has changed everyone's lives. Skylar's, Walt Jr.'s, his, everyone's. Marie's. It's crazy what goes down in that episode. But Hank's death absolutely impacted me. And one of the final moments that I want to talk about is Season 5, Episode 16, when Walt is giving the speech. He says, "I did it for me, and I liked it, and I was good at it, and I really was. I was alive." What a moment. Because this is his full embrace of who he was. And originally, he was doing it for his family. Originally, it was not for him. It turned into a very selfish act. But it turned into something that he knew he was good at, so he had to keep going. Sometimes in life, you find those things that you're really good at, and whether it's good or bad, you have to keep doing it. Walt found that out the hard way. And it turned into a very sad resolution for his, because the next moment, of course, we have the big shootout, which is one of the most epic scenes in a finale in television history. But then we have the zoom out of Walt laying on the ground, dead, being taken out, and the carnage. What ended up killing him is really his descent into madness, of course, but it's just the fallout with the family, with Jesse, with everyone. It's a wonderful final few episodes, guys. Breaking Bad nails it. And I know there were so many moments that I missed in this video, but I just wanted to tell you guys some of my favorite moments in Breaking Bad and why this show means the absolute world to me. Why this show is everything that I think people have been building it up to be over the years. Why I'm so excited for this movie coming out. And I need you guys in the comments. Was there something I missed? Of course. There's a moment in every episode that I love. But was there a moment that really stands out to you? Is there one that resonates, that kind of overcomes all of the other incredible moments in this show? This is a discussion forum, if you will. This is a place for us to talk Breaking Bad and get excited for El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie coming to Netflix this Friday. I will have that review out ASAP. I'm going to wake up super early. I'm going to bring it to you guys. And it has me more excited than pretty much anything coming out over the next couple of weeks, maybe the next couple of months. It's one of my most anticipated things of the year so far. It did kind of sneak up on us, and now it's almost here. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite moment from Breaking Bad? Are you excited for the movie? If you guys enjoyed this video, if you want more things like it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and comment your thoughts below. That will tell me that we're doing something right on this channel, and we're going to keep doing things like this. Thank you guys once again for watching. I'll see you very soon.